Hi, everybody. So we've been of Alchemy. Welcome. Today, I'd like to talk about winter because we've moved into the winter via the Chinese calendar, and it there's a definite shift in the energy that comes with that. So, just give you an idea of that. Sort of give you the nickel version of the different seasons, and that is that you want to keep your energy aligned with the seasons because each one, if you get in accord with it, you get into resonance with the season, then your personal season is kind of gathering chi from the environment. If you're in conflict with the season, then you tend to be discordant, and as a result, there's a tendency for the body to react negatively to that. And so the different seasons, if we start with springtime, that's wood, and that is we're going from the yin of winter to the yang of summer, and so it's sort of a gathering yang energy that is, in a say, expansive growing kind of energy. So we have that. You get the image of plants coming, cracking through the frozen ground, and then bursting forth and expanding and moving upward toward the light. And so that's the wood chi. And as we were talking about in recently, we're talking about also that corresponds to the a certain aspect of spirit. There are 5 different aspects of spirit that come up with this, and this one is your soul, your evolving soul, your hun. So then we go from there to summer, which is the most young part of the seasons, and most young season of that, and so that's where everything is expansive. So we're talking about maybe 80% yang, 20% yin in that case, and so there's that's where you're expressing energy very freely, and that is corresponds to the shen, the creative aspect of your spirit. And then we move to the late summer, which corresponds to incidentally, the summer fire corresponds also to the heart. So the fall is your po, it's spelled P-O, and that's your animal spirit. I'm sorry, late summer is is earth, and that's related to your spleen, and it's the energy of that is earth, and that is more of a think in terms of harvesting. There's plenty, there's peace in the valley, there's a sense of calm, and everything is in order in that one. So earth has this quality of organizing things and settling them down. And so that is your that is your mind, that is your consciousness, your ability to direct your mind responsibly, and it's like the higher levels of mind. And then we go to fall, which is that's the po, which is related to the lungs and metal energy, and that's moving. Now we're moving from yang to yin on the season. That means we're kind of shedding the energy. We're moving more into more coming down. That's the po. It is also has to do with the animal aspects of your soul. That is the part of you that's connected to your body. And so when your po is really in good shape, your body is feeling vibrant, you've got lots of energy, and you're feeling very vigorous. And whenever your po is compromised, then there's a tendency your body feels crappy, and your energy is out the bottom, and things are starting to slide downward. But you're moving toward winter at that point, to the yin of winter. So now we're more like the arrow is heading a direction, it's like 70% or 60% yin as we move toward winter, which is then more like 80%, and that's the water element, and that relates to your kidneys, and the energy around that is it's the most yin part. So that is where you're withdrawing, you're settling down. There's a moving more towards stillness than the high expression of summer. And so I want to talk about that primarily today. That, and also tie it in with the spiritual aspect of that, because in that we have the Zhi. Now the Zhi is spelled Zhi, and it actually has two different meanings. It's the same word in pinyin, Zhi, two different symbols though when you're writing it in Chinese. One symbol, and both these are aspects of the kidney, is kidney energy, and that is the one is wisdom, and the other is will. And the idea there is your wisdom is finding the way to express your energy, to cultivate your energy, to cultivate your resources, so as you can then expand and move in like an evolutionary process. You're moving more toward the realization of your destiny, realization of your the fulfillment of your spirit and your soul. So that's a wisdom, and then it's the other side. Also, Zhi is your will. That is your ability to execute, your ability to make something happen, and so these two work together. If there's too much will, then you dissipate your resources. Now, the resources in this case, it's one of the things that is intrinsic to the kidneys is your Jing. Your Jing is your essence, but also this drive you have toward fulfillment, moving in the direction of evolving. And so whenever your wisdom is you're using it properly, then that is moving along in a nice way that allows you to feel more fulfillment in your life. When it's you're too much, what you're doing is you have too little fear in your life, and you are overextending yourself, you get reckless. When there's too little of that, then the fear takes over, and then you are hesitant, you become very conservative, and you tend to not want to express yourself. You don't want to explore new things at that point. So we have those two there, so that your ability to express your kidney energy that allows you to take that, your essence, your drive toward destiny or whatever, and allows you to move in that direction. That is, you're becoming more yourself, more authentically yourself. As you do that, you're tapping into what makes you your unique self and allows you to explore that. And so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But so the whole idea here is that in the wintertime, we are husbanding our resources. We're gathering and using that to nurture our Jing, nurturing that essence. So then it provides this wellspring of vitality for the rest of the year. If we ignore that and we kind of keep pushing, then we run into a lot of seasonal problems, seasonal illnesses. I'm running into a lot of people lately who have they're getting hammered by by the change of seasons. They're getting, colds and flus and things like that, or just getting really, really tired. And so what we're looking, it's sort of a signal from your body mind to say, hey, slow down. Let's take a deep breath and really gather the energy at this time of year. If you gotta go to work, you gotta go to work, but you want to take each moment and you find the way to harmoniously integrate your actions with your chi, with your energy, so that you're able to, during this period, this next couple of months here, that you're able to gather your resources and feel into that, to be able to uh, create this reservoir of vitality that goes forward. And it won't feel necessarily like vitality as you're doing it. You'll feel like, boy, I'm a lazy slug. I'm not getting anything done. I haven't run 10 miles today, and I feel, like I'm not really getting it done. And so, but that feeling though is like, no, honor that. Say, yeah, take it in, take a deep breath, and make sure you're honoring that quality, that water quality. So what we're going to do today is we're going to introduce that watery quality into some familiar exercises. Now, there are lots of Qigong exercises you can do which specifically target water. But what I like to do is to feel the water, feel that energy, and put it into things that I'm going to tend to do. There's certain exercises that I will do often. And whereas, I might not do specific exercises, specific Qigong exercises that are targeted for these certain things. I might, but if I can take that, and like every time I do a Taiji form, I can bring it into that water, experience that feeling. So what that's going to happen is I'm going to create this resonant field in the watery aspects of my being. And since your body is 70% water, that's a whole lot of you is watery. So of getting that in that highly coherent state and really kind of honor that and resonate with it, then you're building on that energy. Okay, so why don't you stand up, please? And let's start by getting our 3 pillars and in a very watery fashion. That is, we're going to really emphasize the yin part, the sinking into the earth, feeling that, and much more than the yang part. So we're doing like 70% yin and 30% yang. So let's just start and go to your heels, feel the 3 nails, but really emphasize the heel nail there. And that's the most yin aspect of your foot. Knees are unlocked. And feel yourself sinking into the earth. With each breath, you're going to let go and drop down a little bit more. You're not physically dropping down, but you're releasing your body's resistance to the pull of gravity. And you're letting go of muscular tension so that you're learning to trust your connective tissue system more. And also the support of your skeleton. Really feel into your heels, along the insides of your feet, along the medial line, and feel that earth connection. And as you do this, you're going to feel you're opening up the balls, the bubbling well points in your feet. Creating that energy gate called the Yang Chuan, and feel that connection, earth connection. We're connecting up to the big chi here. So that earth chi is very yin, and it's not just yin, but it's vast. And the more you can tap into that, the more you can allow that energy to circulate through your body, going into resonance with that. And relax your whole body and just feel into your bones, your bone marrow. Feel the circulation in your arms, your legs. Feel into the water in your body. Now I'm going to reach with the crown of the head and connect up with the yang chi of the heavens. Tuck in your chin and open up the jade pillow gate. Even as we do this, it's still heavily weighted toward the yin. That connection there, 30%, 20% yang, creates these poles in opposition. So there is chi flow, but the quality of the energy is more, it's more watery. Place the tip of your tongue and the roof of your mouth and breathe through your nose. Breathe into your lower dantian, your lower abdomen. So feel your diaphragm pushing down and compressing your internal organs as you inhale. And then release that. Really feel your belly as you inhale and exhale. This too emphasizes the water chi, which is located in your lower dantian. Reach with your elbows. Open up your shoulder joints. And feel that rush of chi in your arms. Feel the circulation in your hands, your arms. Feel that connection there. Feel the water. Just quietly reaching with your elbows opens up the shoulder joints and permits more energy to flow there. And reach with your index fingers. Feel into the energetic coherence. Just each time you inhale, just reach with your index fingers, feel that coherence. And as you exhale, let it go. Inhale, point, and reach. We're creating a pulse here of coherence. Not going there and trying to stay there. It's better to have it come and go so that you can then be in control of your coherence, not just something that happened arbitrarily. Now let's release the qua, your hip joint. Just spiral down to the left, and turn, spiral down to the right. Nice and soft. Yourself sinking with each turn. Feel that yin. You're still using your zhi, your will, to move this, but you're doing it in accord with a bigger energy. You're aligning with something bigger to create a harmonious effect. And back to center, and very slowly find yourself settling down, finding your central equilibrium, your energetic coherence. You've opened up the energy gates, unkink the hose. Continue to breathe into your lower dantian. In fact, put your right hand there so you can actually feel your abdomen. Feel it expanding as you inhale, retreating as you exhale. So your lower dantian is this whole area and below your navel. And it corresponds to your water chi. Now we're going to connect that up to our upper dantian. And that's something, it's like your brow chakra, you call it the third eye. And the Taoist lingo, it's your spirit eye. So we have this interplay now between your lower dantian and your upper dantian. In your upper dantian, it connects up to your Niwan Gong, which is right there at the center of the spirit valley. Each time you exhale, feel yourself just a little more yin. And just feeling these points here at your lower abdomen, your upper dantian, just feeling them are going, it's going to create an alchemy between the two. And let those go and continue to feel them. Continue to point as you inhale and relax that as you exhale. Feel that pulsing in your body. Good. Now we're going to take this energy and we're going to put it into a Taiji form, put it into the Yang Cheng Fu's 13 original postures. And our emphasis here is feeling that our water emotions, right? That things are very flowy. But at the same time, there is this, sure, there is your will and your wisdom. You're executing these movements so that you can create the optimum benefit for yourself in each moment, and it brings your attention into the present time, brings your attention into creates more of a mindfulness in your movements. We're still going to have that same sense of, uh, the Shen Yi Kun, but the that is where the Shen being the initiator, the E being the mind that says, "Oh, I'm going to be doing this and making these changes," and the Hun being the soul, where you're gathering that energy. But we're going to use that one part there to coordinate with our kidney chi. Okay, so I've probably overcomplicated it by a lot here, but I just want to give you a context for these. Basically, we're going to go through these exercises nice and slow, very yin and very flowy, but pausing to eat the chi, to feed your soul, you feed your hun. And at the same time, as you do that, you're going to also be feeding your kidneys, your jing. So it's so find your three pillars in this position. We heel together, toes apart. You want to find your central equilibrium. One reach with your index fingers, feel that. Have your quad unkinked. Reach a little bit with your elbows, open to your shoulder joints. And begin. And that. And pause and just gather. Eat the chi. Go. Reach with your wrists. Reach with your fingers. Very flowy. Open your shoulder blades. Feel that connection. And eat the chi. And sink into your heels. Reach down with your elbows. Your wrists. Arms are very soft, very light. And eat the chi. Sink and turn. Point and reach. And eat the chi. Turn. Gather. And use your chur. You're using that impulse to execute the movements, that you're doing it in accord with nature, in accord with the energies. You're feeling that shared resonance with each movement. They are very fluid. Arms are very relaxed, very soft. Feel yourself sinking down, releasing down very soon. And hold and reach. Step in. Each time you stop and pause to see what you can let go of, what kind of muscular tension you can dispense with and still feel the structure. Continue, sink, and reach. Feel the heaviness of your arms. Feel the circulation throughout your body, but particularly in your arms, your hands. And continue, sink, step. There's still this extension with your left hand and your right, which are young extensions, but they are overshadowed by the deep relaxation, this deep sung of the yin. Continue. Step in, reach. Feel those poles in opposition. Your right hand reaching up, your left hand reaching down. Relax your hand and you're reaching up with your wrist. Your wrist is bent. Your fingertips are together. Reach with your left hand and feel that connection there. Continue, spiral down. Bottom of the heel. Reach out. Eat the chi. Feel your root. Feel that earth connection through the young trend point. Your right foot. Step. Reach. Very soft, very fluid. Open your joints. Continue. With your elbows and open your shoulders. Feel the water flowing throughout your body, your blood, your lymph, your synovial fluid, your cranial fluid. Continue. Go. You're, you're reaching up. That's reaching at the yang point, but everything else is very, very yin, very sync, very sung. Um, um, flowing, watery. Elbows, open your shoulder joints. Feel yourself sinking down, primarily into your left leg, reaching out with your fingers, getting that whole body connection. Oh, yeah, the wave-like function of this move. Gather, eat the chi. Separate. Very yin as you let it all go. Here you really want to feel the yin. There's still a little bit of yang, but it's mostly yin. Feel the water inside your body. Step in. Deep breath. And disappear the chi. Throw it away. Dissolve into the emptiness. Great. Lynn.
That was incredibly, wonderfully peaceful. I was just, I mean, I took a dog for a walk a little bit before class, and it was that moment where dusk shading into dark and really light little rain. And I had just that wonderful feeling of shifting into winter. And then this allowed that same feeling to be brought inside the house, inside my body, inside. So thank you.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you. Anybody else have something?
I just want to say thank you. I feel so great when I do this, and I appreciate it. It's so wonderful.
Great. Great. Oh. Any questions, comments, thoughts about water? Nick, you got
Yes.
something?
Yeah, so the image I had when we started was the whole, water sinking, finding the level, right? Just filling in the spaces and spreading out and finding, the lowest point, as it were. But while we were doing this, I kept moving back from feeling like back and forth from feeling like kind of the energy moving like in a wave tank, just flowing, and like the wave would start and move through my body being the tank, and this is hysterical in retrospect, but a water balloon animal when we were holding a posture. It was like, instead of just being a balloon animal, it was a water balloon. Now the weight, how you imagine what that would be like, the weight and the feel of that, is kind of like, that's sort of where I was.
That's pretty cool.
Boy, what a yin image that makes. My goodness.
Cool.
Boy, that's a great image, Nick. Wow.
Good.
So
they focusing on the yin was definitely helpful. And something I realized that I've been doing is, when I let go, I'm usually letting go of the yang, but I'm not really paying much attention to the yin. Oh yeah, you got to let that go too.
Find it first, then let it go.
But they just don't have the words, but focusing on it and then letting it go. Also, I realized, just when we were doing, you had us breathing and letting it go, I realized, oh yeah, the holding on to it and then letting it go is really important.
Right. Yeah, and I've talked about this in the past, but just to kind of bring that point up, that when I say let go of the chi, that means that you're just throwing away the stuff that you've already used. It's already, you're emptying out the bathtub of the dirty water, which creates more space for the fresh water to come in. And so getting rid of, you're not storing up the chi, you're creating this system which accesses more and more energy and runs it through and lets it go and gets some more and runs that and run that through, and then you let that go. And so just having that as a conscious thing, that we're not hanging on to the stuff. Because this gets back to the church, that we have that capacity to make it happen, to bring it into being. And we're not just waiting around for it to happen to us. We're actually doing something. That's what makes it, a qigong, that is there's a doing there. It's not just a passive exercise. Cool. Anybody else? Richard?
I was expecting to have to pee, but I'm not doing it right yet.
Gotta let go of your water. Cool. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you all so much. Oh, Valerie, you had something?
Well, just saying, I wanted to, piggyback on what Lynn said about the that piece, that just really nice, deep feeling.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. nice present. Thank you, by the way. Nice present. Yes. Like
In that serendipity, I don't know what sort of way, as we were doing the little set, and I was just, moving forward, I think, into this one. Hi, Pat.
Oh.
My eyes happened to fall on the little bookshelf on my table over there, and I never look at the books when we're doing this. And there's a little book that's just kind of squished in between all the other books, and it's like 2 inches shorter. And it just came to my eyes, and the title is "We Are Nature Defending Itself." So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And it will win.
We know we are nature defending itself, so we're all winning. Yeah. Whatever. Random.
Okay.
Fun.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, producer.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
everyone
you.
have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy
Gobble,
Thanksgiving,
gobble.
everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Be happy.
You guys.
Enjoy.